Yeah, that's right. The State of the Union on Tuesday, not going to happen. This, according to Nancy Pelosi, responding to the president's letter from this morning, in which the president said that he still wanted to deliver the January 29th State of the Union, despite Pelosi saying that she wanted to delay this annual speech because of the government shutdown. Now, Pelosi just responded in this letter that we have obtained, and she says that she's writing to inform you that the House of Representatives will not consider a concurrent resolution authorizing the president's State of the Union address in the House chamber until the government has opened. Now, she has the power to do that because in order to open to allow for the State of the Union to take place in the House chamber, there needs to be a resolution approved by the House and the Senate, and that has not been done yet. Now, Trump had said earlier today in that letter, he said that, well, look, you invited me to come to speak on January 3rd when the shutdown was ongoing, and she addresses that here in this a letter. She said, when I extended an invitation on January 3rd for you to deliver the State of the Union address, it was on the mutually agreed upon date, January 29th. At that time, there was no thought that the government would still be shut down. And then she goes on to say that she reached out again after it was clear the shutdown would still be ongoing, that they wanted to find a mutually agreeable date after the shutdown is resolved. But she makes very clear in this letter that there will be no State of the Union on Tuesday in the House chamber. So now the president is going to have to make a decision where to deliver this speech. Will he do it somewhere else? Even if he wanted to deliver it in the Republican-controlled Senate, that's most likely not going to happen either, because they got to pass a similar resolution to do that there. They would need Democratic support to do it. So he's probably going to have to find a spot somewhere else off Capitol Hill to deliver this annual address. But a remarkable episode that really demonstrates where we are on the longest government shutdown in history, in which the two sides, Pelosi and Schumer and the president, have not had any discussions in the past 2 weeks about resolving the stalemate, competing proposals, unlikely to open the government. And right now, the State of the Union not going to happen because Nancy Pelosi says, open the government first, then we can talk about delivering this speech. Brooke.
Extraordinary times. Manu Raju with the breaking news. Manu, thank you so much. Gloria Borger just sat down and my goodness. I mean, I want to get into the possible other places he could still give it in a second, but first your reaction to her response.
Talk about hardball.
Yeah.
This is it. And she didn't even talk about the security concerns, really, in this letter, in this short letter. She said the House is just not going to consider this resolution authorizing this speech until you reopen the government.
Yep.
Period. So now the conversation has shifted a little bit from security, which you could argue was a political point in the first place, to, sorry, we're not going to have you here. You're not invited until the government's open.
So Trump's other options, if he doesn't go to Capitol Hill,
right,
hold a rally, the border, and the White House?
I guess. But, you know, talking from the Oval Office is not his strength. If you'll recall, when he did that little speech on the shutdown and the border, he didn't even like the way it went. He needs an audience to get his energy. He's not great at reading off the prompter. I think he knows that. But if you're going to do a pep rally, that's not a State of the Union speech.
Which,
a
by the way,
political rally.
Even Trey Gowdy, and we have the sound. Even Trey Gowdy said, "Mr. President, don't do it."
Right.
Don't do a rally. This is for everyone, including people that don't agree with you, including for Americans who will never vote for you. This is the leader of the free world, the leader of our country addressing the citizenry. I would encourage him not to do it in a rally.
Well, so he says no to a rally, going to like a deep red district somewhere in the country.
I think he makes a good point. A State of the Union speech is about the State of the Union of
the United States.
And you know how presidents are, the state of our country is strong, et cetera. And it is a speech not just for your base of supporters, but it is a speech for the entire country. And it is a time when you lay out your agenda for the next year. It is a little discordant to deliver an agenda and what you want to spend your money on and how you want to use government
while the government shut down.
Hello. Right. So that is a problem.
Yeah.
And I think that the audience would realize that the president does want to give his speech, as is, presidents give State of the Union speeches. And I think Pelosi is just holding the shutdown over his head and saying, not until we reopen the government, period.